there any specific adjustment you can pinpoint or anything that this team has done really well during this win streak that stands out to you?
I think number one, just time together, learning one another, putting each other in positions to be successful, attention to detail defensively, continuing to get better on the defensive end. I think we did a really good job right out of the gate in May, and then we kind of took a dip, in June and found our way back, after All-Star break. And really for us, it starts on that end.
Sophie's time's been really well since she got to start. But I guess how do you keep Lexi still in a really different role for her?
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits and the challenges of us having a deep team is the benefit is anybody can be ready to go at any given moment. The challenge is how you manage and how you get everybody, in the game and stay on a roll. But Lexi's one of those players, like Sophie, it doesn't matter. She's going to come in, one of her greatest strengths is her energy that she brings, her ability to use her length on the defensive end of the floor. Obviously, she can stretch the floor with her three-point shot. She knows that we believe in her. She knows that we believe every time she shoots the ball that it's going to go in. And I think the biggest thing with this group is that they play for each other, that nobody really cares who gets the credit. They just want to go out and compete and put our team in position to win.
Hey, Coach, Sean Hill from the broadcast. For Ari, that time when she was away from you, what did you miss from her in terms of wanting to be able to get her back on your roster? And then when you first took over, what were some points of emphasis with the league?
I think for Ari, her speed certainly. Another player that can get downhill. Really, when we didn't have Ari, it was only Kelsey. So having somebody else that can break down the defense, that can get them in rotation, that can get downhill, and what she does on the defensive end of the floor. She's a menace. Like, she gets into you. She sets the tone on that end. She's picking up 94 feet, really causing opponents, some issues from that standpoint. And I think with AB, the biggest thing I talked to AB about in the offseason was how we wanted to use her as a hub and play through her. She came into this league predominantly a back-to-the-basket player. You saw a year ago when Caitlin was drafted that she was utilized a ton in the screen and roll. And we want to be able to do all of that. But she also is one of the smartest players and instinctual players on our team. And she's a high IQ talent, and she's a great facilitator. And so using her in multiple positions on the floor as a hub to play through her, we trust her decision making, and we wanted to empower her to be in that role. And I think the next step for her is to consistently hunt some of those threes that I feel like she's getting.
Coach, what do you want to see from Ari against her former LA Sparks team?
Same thing she's been doing. I don't want her to do anything different. I don't want her to play outside of herself. I want her to continue to be a great spark for us, getting downhill, get to the rim, breaking down defenses, picking up full court. She just needs to be who she is, and she's been great for us.
Hi, Coach. Robin Gomen for Agence France Presse. Caitlin Clark has missed a couple of games this season. How do you see her going through that period, which is tough for a player missing games, especially at the second season?
Yeah, I think anytime you have the game taken away from you, you have an opportunity to see it from a different perspective. And she's been playing this game since she was, a kid, and has really never sat on the sideline and had to watch it from a quote-unquote coach's point of view. You see things differently on the sideline. You feel things differently when you're on the floor, and you see it differently on the sideline. I think that for her to be able to look at it in a different way, to be able to see how her teammates have elevated, to see different ways that when she gets back that she can put them in positions to be successful that she might not have noticed on the floor. To see the success that we've had, because of how we've had to play. And then our job is to reintegrate her and allow her to do what she does best. And hopefully, some of absorbing some of that, being around our coaches, sitting by our coaches on the bench, listening to some of the things that we're talking about, some of the things that we're looking for. Just hopefully it gives her a different perspective.
Coach, Ari was talking about her Arizona run and pose and all of that, and she was talking about how she kind of this experience has helped her remember that that's who she is. I'm curious if you've had a few moments where you've seen her sort of get that swagger back.
Yeah, I mean, so much about players in this league and especially players who have been in different situations. It's just about finding the right fit. It's about allowing Aerie to be Aerie and to find her spots on our team. And you can start to see that. You started to see that confidence, I felt like, very quickly when she came to our team, and not afraid to make the play, not afraid to set the tone. And then you see her make dagger shots, and yeah, you see the pose, you see the flexes, you see all of that. And for a lot of players, it's just about finding the fun again, right? It is a job. It is a grind. Jobs are hard to come by. But remembering why you started playing the game in the first place. And I feel like Aerie's having fun. She's at her best when she's having fun, and we're just fortunate that she's on our team.
Hi, Coach. In talking to some players and coaches around the league, they've said that the biggest evolution they've seen in the game over the last few years has either been pace of play, style of play, or even the way that players take care of their bodies and stuff. During your time in the league, what has been the biggest evolution you've seen in the game?
Well, there have been a lot. I mean, obviously, we don't know what we don't know when young in the league, and I've been around this league for 25 years. But I think that you see the players are more talented than they've ever been. They're more versatile than they've ever been. These women have grown up only knowing the WNBA. And so seeing themselves in these systems, seeing themselves in these arenas, on the floor, challenging themselves to get out of their comfort zone and be better. And I think that the game, because of that, the game is more versatile than it's ever been. We look at, the WNBA and playing 5 out and playing in flow and, utilizing point forwards and utilizing, 5 players as hubs, much like you see in the NBA. I think it's just the evolution of the game. I think it's in great hands with these young players, and they're going to continue to propel it for the next level. And it's a great challenge for coaches to get outside of our comfort zone and to try to be as creative as possible to put these players in positions for success.